What's good, family? It's your boy Just Blaze, host of the best NBA pod in the game, Above the Rim. Keep it locked each week and join myself and a special guest as we tackle the latest rumblings in the league. If it's happening in the NBA, you know I got you covered. Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and leave that 5-star review. Let's get it.
I was sitting in my room crying the other night because they were doing this special on me, Karl Malone, and Patrick Ewing, about how our lives are so miserable and incomplete because we haven't won the championship. And if you tell people it's not the most important thing, they say you're defensive and you're lying. I love that everybody tells me what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. But I just want everybody out there to know I'm going to be all right if we don't win the championship. I'm not going to become like a mass murderer. I'm not going to cut my wrist. I'm not going to jump off a building in downtown Houston. I think me, Karl Malone, and Patrick Ewing, I think we'll be fine.
Joel, you've been here for almost all of the process. Where would you say the process is right now? And you just played the most minutes you've ever played in regulation. Are you tired?
I don't give a damn about the process.
Talk about it!
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim.
Family, welcome to another edition of Above the Rim, the latest episode of Above the Rim, episode 94, brought to you, as always, by your honorable host, Justin, a.k.a. Just Blaze. Joining me this week, no introduction needed, friend of the show, the homie Melo Reem. You said today, what's good, brother?
What's good, man? 3 to the head.
3 to the head.
What's going on, yo?
Man, Reem, I had to bring you here for this episode for me, man, because this was an emotional episode for me.
Let me get the tissue now.
I need the tissue. But yeah, family, as always, you can find Above the Rim anywhere you listen to podcasts: iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Spotify, YouTube, lineups.com. To get in contact with your boy, you can follow me on Twitter at JustBlaze_513. That's JUSBLAZE_513. IG is JustBlaze513. Facebook, search Above the Rim Podcast. Email the show as well, Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Call up to talk about it line, you already know. Questions, concerns, comments, 908-718-1592. Reem, brother, where can the family find you?
Hit me on IG, Rich_Threads. Follow me on Twitter if you want to talk shit.
Let's talk sports.
Let's talk sports.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yo, shout out to the pop-up shop, too. Rich Threads, Season 9.
Thank you for coming through, my brother.
Yes, sir. No doubt. Family, make sure you go check that out as well. NBA playoffs, bro.
Man, this probably been the best playoffs I've seen in a while.
I'm not gonna lie. Hasn't it been more, dare I say, more entertaining without LeBron in there?
Damn.
Dare I say?
That's where we starting?
Too early?
It's been real disrespectful on my sleep, though. I haven't been able to get no sleep.
Tell me about it. It's been very disrespectful on my sleep.
Zombie eyes in the morning.
Especially because, you know, the West games are really crunk out there in the West games. And they're electric. And those are the ones that are on. They finish at 1 a.m. You know, brothers, we got to go to work in the morning, man.
Yeah, boss don't want to hear that.
Yes, they definitely don't want to hear that for sure. And, yeah, man, so like I alluded to earlier, it's been a rough weekend for me, man. A very rough weekend for me. I know the family knows I'm a big Rockets fan. Didn't like how we went out this weekend in the conference semifinals. Let's just talk about the bullshit that went down in Houston, man. Straight up. Where did we go wrong? The Rockets. I think we went wrong in a lot of places, but in Game 6 in particular, we lost at home, as everybody knows, in a very disappointing, terrible, disgusting loss, I feel like, for the Rockets. James Harden and Chris Paul combined for 62 points, 19 rebounds, and 11 assists. Curry and Klay combined for 60 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. But obviously, it wasn't enough. Iggy had 5 threes. You had Looney, you had Livingston in double digits in scoring in Game 6, which was disgusting to watch. The Houston role players didn't show up. Eric Gordon at 9 points. Clint Capella out there, Reem, looking like Michael Olowokandi. Doo-doo. Michael Olowokandi, he was looking out there. Completely disappointed with Clint Capella throughout this entire series. And, of course, Game 6 in particular. Every game I was disappointed in him. And James Harden, Game 6, he missed 5 crucial free throws in Game 6.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
6 turnovers in Game 6, 3 of them in the fourth quarter. Steph was big time in the second half, scored 33 in the second half. He killed us and hit the big shots, especially in the fourth quarter. And it was terrible, man. So let's hear the owner, Tillman, describe how he felt after the Rockets lost. And I echoed a lot of these sentiments as well, man.
And they came to our home court and they kicked our ass, and that's just the way it is. They outscored us by 10 points in the fourth quarter. They won, they're the champions, and we lost.
Is it any more painful because it's in your backyard?
Hell yeah, it's more painful. You know, this was not fun, and I guarantee you, James and Chris and our team is very upset right now. They kicked our ass on our home court. They beat us by 10 points in the fourth quarter. It's unacceptable, okay? We just have to be better, and I know that we're going to rise to the occasion, and our time's going to come.
Shout out to Tillman, man. Reem, I'm going to start with you. What were your thoughts and your feelings about Game 6 and this series as a whole between the Rockets and the Warriors?
I think they blew just an opportunity alone. Like, you watch KD go down, and that was your time. That's like a shark sensing blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't take that opportunity. Whether you see like how Kawhi just went out and shot
40-something shots.
39 shots.
40 times, I think.
If it took that from Harden, go down like that. Because, one, his legacy kind of was on the line with this one. You can't average 35, 36 points in a regular season. And then 32 is never bad, but you come out, it ain't enough. You got to go to that extra mile. Second point, I just feel as though you can't have your team identity try to beat another team's identity by playing just like them. Like, I get the 3-ball, but
stylistic.
You have 2 snipers that shoot 40+% for a career. This been James Harden, one of his best shooting performances for a season, and he's still shooting 35, 36%.
35%, yeah.
Like,
and his sheer volume with him too.
Yeah, so one, the burning out aspect, but you gotta have your own identity. They don't have a guy that they could throw the ball to and get them a bucket when the 3-ball isn't going.
Yeah, an easy bucket down to the paint.
And if you're taking the identity of another team like Golden State, when things aren't going, Clay tries to get the mid-range going, and then he extends out. Or they'll have KD's just a sniper. He's killing them.
Or pick and roll action with Draymond too.
They have different options when the tray isn't dropping. So you mingle that together with, you got CP3 just sitting on the wing when he's not a sniper. He's a rhythm player. You get him going, you get Harden going off some screens, maybe some post downs. All right, you got a better chance for later on in the game. You have some legs.
Got a rhythm throughout the game. So
yeah,
I agree with you. Those are all phenomenal points you made right here, Reem. So me in particular, I have like 3 distinct things that I want to discuss like in this series and where it went wrong and where I feel it went wrong the most. And I feel like you alluded to a lot of this. To me, a lot of this is on Mike D'Antoni, to me in particular. I think, to me personally, I think it's time to pack his damn bags. I think he got to go. I think Mike D'Antoni is not the right coach for the Houston Rockets as a whole. And it's because of for 2 things, really. I think his stubbornness, number one, as we all talked to, which goes into his lack of adjustments. Unwillingness to even try a new gamble, try a new strategy. Like you said before, when the 3-ball isn't working, at least try to adjust, shoot some mid-range shots. He only allows CP to shoot mid-range shots, but he should be pressuring James Harden and everyone else to shoot mid-range shots as well, because they're not always going to get those same calls, because you always brought up how James Harden isn't ref the same way in the playoffs as he refed in the regular season. That was the point you always brought up. I mean, you were right on the money again. Because that's exactly how it played out. And to me, the lack of adjustments from D'Antoni was like, they were flagrant from this dude from the entire series. So Game 6, right? I wrote down Clint Capella. We know was playing horrible in the series, right? So Game 6, Steve Kerr. What I noticed what he did in Game 6, he played 11 guys in the first quarter. He had Looney in there. He had Jordan Bell in there. He had Quinn Cook checking in the first quarter, right there. Mike D'Antoni, he replaces Clint Capella. We're losing a rebounding battle. You're losing the hustle points at that time. He brings in Nene again, right? When I feel like Fareed, why can't you find any minutes for Kenneth Fareed, the manimal, in this series? We were getting out hustled. We were getting out rebounded. We were losing in the energy category, the energy statistics. And what is Fareed?
Hustle baskets.
Hustle baskets, those 50-50 balls. And that's one of Kenneth Fareed's strengths. That's one of Manimal's strengths.
He would have neutralized the effort of a Draymond Green.
Exactly, because right now the Rockets don't have basically another player over 6'5", because PJ Tucker's really like 6'4", 6'5", playing. It's really.
Yeah.
So we don't have another player over 6'5", which is basically James Harden, other than Clint Capella. No one in between to get you those rebounds, those hustle points, just off of length, basically. Not so as much as getting it off of toughness, off of quickness, something.
He got rid of the whole damn everybody with length.
Exactly. We have nobody with length. So I don't see how, I should say, D'Antoni couldn't find quality, consistent minutes for Kenneth Fareed. Nene burned you already in game 1 when Steph Curry hit that 3 at the end of the game because you left him in there, which was a coaching blunder right there. Why can't Kenneth Fareed get some of those energy minutes, neutralize Draymond Green for a few plays, a few possessions? Because he averaged 14 and 9.
Well, what spooky was about that is Capella was struggling so bad. But when he was injured, Fareed was a murderer for them. He was a sniper. And you know what I didn't see a lot, and what I said was the issue? Remember the pick and rolls over the top lob? Capella wasn't getting any of those.
He was neutralized.
Packing the paint.
That was all Draymond Green. I got to give him credit there.
Packing the paint.
He dropped back a lot on the pick and roll coverage. And you know why Draymond Green dropped back? Because he knew James Harden was never going to shoot that mid-range shot.
You got it on the head right there.
And that's all it comes down to right there. He knew it. He said, you know what? I know he's not going to shoot that mid-range. Even if it's open, he's not going to shoot it.
Yeah.
And he's going to go to the lane, either get a floater or get a lob. And the floaters look exactly like the lobs. If you look at it, it's really just swayed over a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it was smart game planning. But you know what that was? A coaching adjustment. That was a strategy.
Know what that was? Karma.
That too. And I think it was just, you know what else I noticed? Right? Game 6. Why is Chris Paul, CP3, the leading rebounder on the team in the closeout pivotal game?
But you got to think about it, though. Everybody on that team, except for Capella, plays the perimeter.
Yes.
The paint is wide open.
But Clint Capella played over 30 minutes.
No, but there's zoning to catch his legs, to block him out.
Yes,
Once
100%.
you get him out the way, at that point, the ball could drop on the floor.
True. Or there's long rebounds as well from the threes.
Yeah, but once you put a body on a player after the ball is up, you ain't got to worry about Capella no more.
Agreed. But still, Chris Paul shouldn't be the leading rebounder.
Yeah.
That to me shows a lack of hustle from everyone else. If the shortest player on the court should not have 11 rebounds.
But they don't got a lot of, other than PJ Tucker, it's not a lot of dogs. You know, CP3 he's gritty. For what he has left, he's a real gritty player.
He is.
You know what I'm saying?
But this is where the Manimal could have came in and helped out.
Off energy alone, yes.
Off energy alone. A lot of those rebounds Chris Paul was getting were loose balls or 50-50 balls or like you said, long rebounds or any after they boxed Capella out in the rebound and it was a long rebound, he would chase him down. Kenneth Fareed can be there for those kind of energy plays. Or you play Clint and Fareed together maybe. If you had Looney and Bell in there together, I'm trying to say, why could you find minutes for Fareed? That was a problem.
Yeah, you got a point there. And where they messed up was when Steph went out with the 3 early fouls, you only had one shooter basically on the court. D'Antoni didn't make an adjustment to get the ball out of Klay's hand.
Yes.
Who else was going to be a sure bucket?
He allowed him to cook.
He allowed him to get hot and keep them in the game. And then the result, 33 points from Steph in the second half. Which is, oh boy.
Ridiculous. James Harden, I'm also giving him a little bit of blame as well. So On the surface, he had a nice series. The numbers still look sexy. Was he 34, 7, and 5 for the series? They still look good on the surface, and he was pretty good throughout the series. I'm not slandering him or anything like that. He was pretty good in my estimation in the series as a whole, especially after he got hit in the eye by Draymond. I still feel like he played well. He actually played a lot more efficiently than before he got hit in the eye. But my issue with James Harden was his body language and how I didn't see the dog in him when our backs was against the wall. That's what I didn't see from him. And when we needed a bucket from the MVP, Game 6, under 3 minutes to go, he couldn't provide one. So that to me was my issue with James Harden, and I feel like he had he had a few mental mistakes in Game 6, the turnovers, the shove on Draymond Green at the end of the game, the 5 missed free throws.
He played it off well.
The refs should have never called it. It was a flop. It was a flop.
It went back.
But to me, that showed a little bit of frustration because why you even shoving him? You already had Steph, or I forgot, or Clay, or somebody was guarding you already, or Iguodala at the top of the key. He's coming over there to bother you. Don't even worry about him. If he comes to you, then you throw it out because there's going to be somebody else open as well. But I feel like when we needed James Harden the most, we needed one bucket from the MVP, and he couldn't provide that bucket at the end of the game.
You know, I seen everybody go hard at Harden, and to be honest with you, like I think it was unwarranted a lot.
Oh, a lot of the slander is very unwarranted.
And the only reason I say that is because you know everybody who really plays ball, sometimes you get to that point where like you feel like you've done as much as you can.
I agree,
and you just feel defeated because they played the series. The series was close all season.
Every series was close. Was under 5. Every game.
Every game was close in this series. It was amazing. But it's like I'm putting this out, this amount of effort. The ball's always in my hand. And this is, on his coach to give him some rest, to give him a blow. But the production of his team isn't there as well. Because in the same sense, you're saying, or you might say Harden hasn't stepped up to the point now. Where the hell was Eric Gordon? I've been saying this all year. The inconsistency with this guy.
Yeah.
You can't disappear in a big game like this.
The biggest game of the series. He was great games 1 through 4.
And the thing with other coaches, when a player like Gordon's hand is not hot, you got to find a spark off the bench.
Yes.
Where was Daniel House Jr.?
No minutes.
Where was Austin Rivers? You had Shumpert out there throwing up a few shots. It was working in the first half, but they went away from all of that.
But he's too streaky, though. You can't trust Shumpert to hit those
jumpers. But when the hand is hot in the beginning, you got to empower your players.
Yes, 100%.
So now, if my was hot the first half and I don't see the ball in the second half, I'm cold now. And then CP3 isn't getting his touches. The system is broken.
The system, which goes back to coaching, which I think it was the main issue. And I think a lot of people were underutilized. And I think my problem with going back to D'Antoni real quick is I don't think he's the right coach to make Harden accountable for lack of off-ball movement. Because I see sometimes if James Harden's not initiating the offense or if CP's not initiating the offense, they're very far removed from the play. Like, I see James Harden, you know how you spot how PJ Tucker spots up in the corner for 3. Yeah. James Harden's not really spotting up like he's ready to get the ball to shoot for an open jump shot. He's standing way back.
He's just spacing the floor at that point because he's really not in the play, so he's not going to do anything to help the play.
Exactly. He's not setting the down screen. He's not at least being a decoy is what I'm trying to say. You see how Steph Curry, even if he doesn't have the ball, he's still a decoy for his team. Klay Thompson, that's still a decoy. So it allows everyone else. It allows Draymond actually to have the space, which allows him to get into the lane because he can't shoot. Yeah. So the only way he could get into the lane is if you allow him some space because you're worrying about the other shooters. And that to me is one of my issues with James Harden when he isn't involved in offensive play. And that to me goes to D'Antoni. You gotta force him to do that.
But the thing about D'Antoni is he was one of the first coaches to implement the movement of the ball rather than ISO ball. I guess because it was working, he just went away from that system.
Went overboard though.
So now it went from a system to now it's summer league ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? They playing a rec or a Dykeman or something like that.
They were playing a lot of Rockets were playing a lot of rec league ball.
Just watching the ball.
And I feel like it's forced upon them because to me, I see Chris Paul in particular because I really look at his body language and stuff like that. And I noticed a lot of times throughout the series actually, he was like reluctantly giving it to James. Like after he inbounded him, he was like, "Here, take it."
Yeah.
And then just going to stand in the corner and just to spot up and was staying there the entire possession. And then James would dribble out for about 10, 15 seconds. That's not going to work against a great team. That's going to work
especially
against
with the point. You have the point guard. Like, he's one of the best point guards in NBA history. And he knows, I know Harden's going to get a lot, but he knows his legacy is also attached to this.
Yes.
Because this is one of the last stretches he might have. One of the opportunities. And that was just taken away from him by giving up the ball.
It was terrible. And to be fair, Chris Paul could have played a lot better this series. He could have showed up a lot more. He's getting there and up in the age now. He is 34 years old. He gave you 1675 this series. And why I'm upset about Chris Paul, me as a whole, is because I feel like him being the vet on the team, the other person that everyone is going to listen to, I feel like he should have overrided D'Antoni and his adjustments and just not let James Harden. I feel like James Harden low-key fell asleep at the wheel at the end because he didn't seize the moment. Like, it was really a time for James Harden to really get a bucket right there. And I'm blaming Chris Paul a little bit for not giving James Harden that confidence, because that's what is one of Chris Paul's main roles on this team, is to instill that dog into James Harden that he didn't have, and he didn't have it enough.
But that has to be instilled from the coach from day one. Like, this is my on court coach right here.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't call a play, look for this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time, it's too far removed. He's cooking all year long. He's gonna have the ball in his hand, so it's gonna be harsh. But I don't give Chris Paul as much grief as I usually was giving you throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt as though like he wasn't put in the best positions to succeed, because you had like an aging Jason Kidd win a title with Dallas, where he played his spot minutes, but when he played, it was effective.
Yes,
the ball was in his hand, and he got the ball to Dirk, who was cooking that whole season. So in a situation like when he can't get a bucket, rather than dribble, get it to Chris Paul, set up a play.
An actual play.
Where you get some off the ball, you get some misdirection on the back end or something.
Even if the play is for Harden, it's fine.
But you know it's going to be for Harden.
Exactly.
But run a decoy for a double screen off a pick or something. Misdirection, anything. And Chris Paul is good for breaking down somebody and getting to the mid-range.
Exactly. He can still get a mid-range shot off. And that's why it was just ridiculous. I mean, I was just disgusted at the offense down the stretch. I was just disgusted as a whole.
Oh, man.
Going forward now, this offseason, because this was a pretty devastating loss, especially because it happened at home in Game 6 instead of Game 7, which is why it was bad. I think Mike D'Antoni has to go. I would like to see a coach like, tell me if I'm bugging right here, but I would like to see a Mike Woodson over there in Houston. What do you think about that?
Woodson?
Mike Woodson there, who instill a different system. It's still going to be Harden and Chris Paul predicated, of course, but they're two great offensive minds. I feel like you don't need D'Antoni for James Harden and Chris Paul to create offense. That's what they do best in their careers. You need something else. You need another offense for the other guys to actually be more of a contributor on the offensive end rather than just being spot-up shooters.
I actually like that.
Yeah, and I like Mike Woodson as a coach who can give accountability. You get what I'm saying?
Because he was one of the first coaches to actually say, like, I'm going to put Melo at the 4. And they did have that great shooting season with, what's this guy's name?
Ooh.
Novak.
Steve.
With Novak, they empowered J.R. Smith to accept the 6-man role and to flourish at that role.
And he was an assistant coach with the Clippers the whole time with Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
He's assistant coach over there. I think Mike Woodson will be a very nice upgrade
Yeah,
over
that'll be
D'Antoni.
a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I definitely was. And of course, as far as roster additions, I'm gonna do another offseason addition for the Rockets later on. But they need a front court scorer. They need a front court scorer. They need somebody over 6'5" that could get a bucket down low or get an easy bucket. Somebody at least 6'7" or 6'8" that could get you a bucket, not a spot up three. Oh God.
Believe it or not, there's one dude. I don't know if he's a free agent this year, but
Talk about it.
Jahlil Okafor. Jahlil Okafor. He came in camp this year in shape, and he could get you a bucket. He might not be the defensive stout that you need, but he could get you a bucket.
I thought you was going
Who that?
3 to the head on that one.
Nah, they had him already, man. they did him. Listen, we got time to touch on that real quick?
Maybe do. Go
All
ahead.
right, listen. For all of those guys, you know I'm a Melo guy.
Melo Reem.
But in a situation like that, when the 3-ball isn't dropping, having a dude like Melo, it'll change up the feeling to the game a little bit. Get you a little mid-range, get you a back to the basket, a face-up, something closer, just to get the ball back rolling.
Yeah.
So you see something go in, you start feeling better. If you miss 3, 4 in a row, it becomes a mental game.
Yes. Oh yeah. 100%.
So now you're thinking, oh shit, last year Ariza missed 12 in a row. Like, we can't do this again. So now rather than shooting the ball freely, you're thinking about it.
And also, Melo was somebody who's not scared.
At the moment, he's never been shot from whether he make it or miss it. He's
gonna
willing to shoot.
Exactly. And I feel like Melo would. I hate to do that, but I'm not gonna lie. Melo would have been great. Melo was brought in for a
this
series,
time.
a series
Yeah,
like
for this
this.
time.
Exactly, and especially with KD going down, and Melo too also is a presence. Actually, not necessarily that he's gonna make the shot every time, but he's still a presence.
You still have to defend him,
Exactly.
especially in the
You have to
mid range.
account
So you
for
have
him.
to play like a Draymond Green wouldn't be able to float around.
They were cheating off of PJ Tucker a lot.
Yeah, because
they were
once-
cheating off of Shumpert a lot.
Yeah, but see the behavior that they gave him might make it hard this offseason for like a vet looking for a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with.
It's a lot to Rockets. I'm very disappointed in y'all, man.
Yeah.
Very, man. Moving on, man. But I'm going to talk about the Rockets a lot more further later on. But as far as Golden State goes, because we got to talk about them a little bit really quick. Because Steph had a great game. Clay had a great game. And it started to raise a lot of questions on how they are without Kevin Durant and how they've been performing without Kevin Durant, because it was actually a phenomenal win for the Warriors to go out there and close out the Rockets in Game 6. And their record with Steph, no KD this year, I believe it's like 24-1 or something like that.
27-1 now.
Oh,
28-1 now.
That's-
now that they won those last 2 games.
Damn, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. So do you think something like this, because now I feel like they have a lot more confidence, or they got their confidence re-energized because they got this that series win, especially if they win a couple of games against the Blazers? Do you think it affects KD's free agency going forward and saying, all right, they don't need me anyway, or him finally believing that?
I think he was gone regardless, win or not. He got his chips out the deal. So like that's what most stars want. They need the chip to solidify the career.
I agree.
Point scoring, he knows he's one of the most lethal scorers. Now it's time to get the bag on the back end and then just build a legacy, pad the legacy. He can't really create the greatest legacy because it's more of Steph's team still. He's the beloved Golden State dude. For him to go, he could go anywhere, honestly, and get a bag and be
Of course.
He's like a creative player, dog.
He is.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. That's why I was just so upset that he went over there, because he didn't need that. KD's good enough.
You know what? After playing Westbrook, I might go there too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He wanted an easier time.
Yeah, he just wanted a cerebral point guard.
Yeah, but KD's phenomenal, man. KD's phenomenal. I can't wait to see him somewhere else next year, because I think he's out too. And I also got to give a shout out to Steph for how he played. Especially in the second half of game 6, because he was dog shit for this entire series. Dog shit. He was playing very bad, but he did come through when the team needed him, and that showed a lot of resiliency. So I got to give him a lot of credit for that performance.
And you better wake up this series because they coming for him.
Oh yeah, they coming for him. He definitely is. Definitely is. What's good, Above the Rim family? Think you know fantasy basketball? You can win money on FanDuel tonight and all through the NBA playoffs. There's only a couple weeks left in the season, family, so don't miss out on your last chance to have some fun and win some money. Draft your fantasy basketball team for tonight's playoff action. It's quick, it's easy, and you can win huge cash prizes. Sign up for FanDuel using promo code LINEUPS and get a $5 bonus with your first deposit. Just visit FanDuel.com or download the FanDuel app, then draft your NBA playoffs team and play for cash. Make sure you use promo code LINEUPS when signing up. Trust me, family, it's worth your while. So moving on. The Nuggets and the Blazers also had a very intriguing series right there. It went Game 7. CJ McCollum's pretty much single-handedly won Game 7 at Denver, where the Nuggets had the best home record this year. And so I'm gonna start off here with the Blazers and Dame in particular. How important do you feel this playoff run has been for Dame's career and his perception of Dame right now? Because he's hot right now.
Let me set up for this one. I think he's probably made himself a household name. In the past two series alone. Like, he played decent versus Denver. But even when he didn't have it cooking, he was doing something on the court.
Yes.
He was a presence that you had to defend, and he was passing amazing passes, and he struggled a little bit with the free throw. But as far as like putting his stamp on the NBA, this was his arrival party. And he really showed, like, like, you guys haven't put me in that tier prior, but I'm dogging your top tier players.
I mean, yeah, he's given 28 and 6 he's averaging in the playoffs. But you know what is more so about Dame? It's about moments for him. Yeah. Because I feel like
one big moment so far.
Yeah, and I feel like he had a couple of big moments in this Blazers series. In this Nuggets series. He had a few big shots, but not a game-winning shot. But he had a few very timely. But even in Game 7, he has
one in the corner.
That was a timely three.
And you shot bad, but he made it when it counted.
Exactly. And you still felt his impact and his presence on the floor, and he allowed CJ to cook because CJ was feeling it all series, really.
I'm glad you touched on that. Because we've seen a lot of the top tier point guards shoot the team out the game and not find a hot hand because they want to make sure that they were the person to get them back in the game. And it failed them. CJ cooked for the last 2 games, and he found his pocket. He's like, you know what? He's moving. Let him run 1-4 flat.
Yeah.
What point guard gives the ball up for a 1-4 flat? Westbrook would never.
Never.
And that's why he got waved home. That's it. Goodbye. It's over for you.
Goodbye to Westbrook. So, to me, I said in the last series, definitely officially Dame over Russell Westbrook in last series. I think, is it Dame over Kyrie also?
Oh, man. It could be, yeah. I guess, I won't go there. I won't go that far yet. Because Kyrie, he's hit a big shot to actually get a chip.
He has.
And this is really his first time on the stage.
I don't know. I think a case can be made.
No, it can't be made. It can't be. It's very tough. It's a tough decision.
He's been in Lillard, Dame has been in a tough conference.
Yeah.
And carrying his team as the number 1 option for quite a long time, quite some years now. And he's definitely been putting up numbers. They definitely are in the playoffs every year. 2 years in a row, they had home court advantage. High seeds, number 3 seed.
The only reason I can't, because we slandered Lillard the last 2 years with the sweeps.
You did, and so, I was definitely.
I'm not ready to just jump on it. Like
you don't want to be a prisoner of the moment.
Yeah, I like him. I always liked him as a player, and I kind of more liked him when Aldridge left him. Cause I'm like, damn, that was some sucker shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he kept at a steady pace where now he's getting that spotlight. Like, listen, I can play too.
Yeah.
So I'm not ready to put him over Kyrie, but. If Kyrie's a 1A level, he's 1B, 1AA.
I mean, I got them neck and neck. I don't feel like Kyrie's like
he doesn't bring much
better.
More.
Yeah. I don't feel like he's better. You can't say anything that he's better at other than handles, maybe.
Yeah, but the thing with Lillard, he does not waste a dribble.
Yes, exactly.
Everything is north and south.
I just love how he plays the game too. I love how he attacks.
Silent killer.
Yeah, silent killer. I love how he attacks, and he is lethal in the pick and roll. I don't think he gets enough credit for how he scores in the pick and roll as well. He is
surgery knife.
Surgical with it. And So I got to give him some love too, and he's up for a big series against his Golden State Warriors, man. He's definitely got to give. I think he's got to give 30 to 35.
He can't disappear. He can't disappear because this, if this is the stage that he wanted,
he wanted it.
He wanted it.
West Finals.
You got one of the, if not the top tier point guard that you're playing against right now.
Mm-hmm.
He has the NBA on tilt right now,
and he's got to show that it's not because he was just playing the Nuggets, who are maybe a little nervous to be there, or just a little happy to be there, and the Thunder, who are dysfunctional. I'm tired of people
saying that though. The Nuggets came in as the higher seed with home court advantage.
They did. True.
They killed. They just fell to the second seed in the later parts of the season. So they were killing the whole year.
That's true.
So like, I don't think everybody should take that away.
You don't want them to discredit
situation. Not at all.
I feel you.
They fought a dog for that season.
I'm not mad at that. And speaking of Denver, Jokic, man, this postseason, I'm not gonna lie, he's impressed the hell out of me this postseason, man. You know, and not that I was sleeping on him before, I just didn't know how he would perform in these playoffs. But he was balling. He averaged 25, 13, and 8, 50% from the floor, 40% from 3. He was clutch. He had some timely buckets. He played big minutes, especially in that 4 overtime game. He played damn near the whole game, like 50 minutes or something like that. 48 minutes. He was balling this playoffs.
I hate his game.
You hate his game?
I hate how it looks, but he's the truth, though.
I actually love it. He's the truth, man. Like, he really was controlling that offense from the high post. And I feel like if they had... I know people, like Jamal Murray and Gary Harris, but I feel like if they had a better guard who can take over a game with a guy like Jokic, that's the next step, or the next leap that the Denver Nuggets need to take. And I feel like the only thing I didn't like about them as a whole, I still feel like they could have found some minutes for IT in this series. To me, that was a little bit of a problem.
I think so too, because you know what I mean, he would have came in as a calming factor. He's been there. He's not scared of the highlights. Not scared of the big moment.
Exactly. I feel like he could have came in and guarded Seth Curry, something like that.
Yeah.
Some of Portland's small guards that they have.
Could have found some in this for him. But
exactly.
I guess they liked the athleticism in the second unit, and they went with Will Barton, which actually became their Achilles heel because he didn't play good in the game 7. So, like, you know, more karma for their ass.
It is. But were you impressed by the Joker this postseason?
No, all season.
Okay.
All season. He showed like you know, like he's probably one of the best big men out. Top 3-ish or something.
Question
like that.
for you.
Go ahead.
Jokic or Embiid?
Shit. I'm gonna go Jokic just because. Just because. I don't know. Embiid's health is like, you know, and this postseason, if you're sick, don't play. If you're going through your flu or whatever, just don't play, because I don't want that to be a reason why you're losing
or why you didn't play well or something.
Yeah, because
a
then
scapegoat.
Because then if you win, I felt a little better. Like, which one is it?
I didn't like that. What was going on with Joel Embiid? These storylines. Well, we about to talk about it. We might as well get over there, Tim. So let's talk about the 76ers and the Raptors. 76ers and Raptors series, because it was an interesting series, man. I'm not gonna lie. I noticed a lot of people had a lot of opinions about this series, because I feel like it was a fake star-studded series. Like, it was like a B-list star-studded series, I feel like. But there were a lot of I feel like emotions were involved in the 76ers and Raptors. A lot of people had a lot of different opinions on this series. We talked about Embiid. He for this series, he gave you 17 and 8. Not gonna get it done.
Not enough. As much as he be talking and tweeting.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotta step it up.
17 to 8 is not enough. And I said it before, why I had the Raptors in 7 and the Raptors did win in 7, is because I didn't feel like he was gonna really twerk Marc Gasol like that. I didn't feel like he was really gonna tear up Serge Ibaka like that. Like, I never felt like his moves were enough that they could neutralize him a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Even if he was healthy.
Nah, if he's 100% healthy, no way in hell. He's too elusive for Marc Gasol.
So you don't think Marc Gasol would have slowed him down at all?
Foot speed wise, no.
Healthy. I'm not saying Marc Gasol is as good as him.
No. I just mean just Marc Gasol defending him. As far as foot speed alone, that little head fake he does, and
it's nice.
He couldn't get the separation after the head fake with the step because of the knee. Forget the flu symptoms and all of that. When he took that time off with his knee, he got fat. He was drinking Shirley Temples or whatever the hell he was doing.
Good point.
He got fat. So his moves wasn't as explosive. And at one point early in the season, he took 2 dribbles, he get in the paint, he's banging it.
Yeah.
He was missing a lot of those. Like, he didn't have the explosiveness. So I wouldn't say he wouldn't have got off. My issue is, you know who my issue is. Your man Simmons.
Yeah, well, let's get to him right now because he was also underperforming in this series. He only averaged 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. That to me is just not going to cut it with Ben Simmons. And I had issues with him. He did play well in two out of the 7 games, I believe, 2 or 3. But to me, my issue with Ben Simmons is to me he's a big man that can do guard things, but Philly has him as a guard doing big man things. Again, a guard doing guard things. But to me, he's a big man that can do guard things. But to me, Philly is not putting him in the right positions to help him excel as a whole. And in this series, and I would say maybe that's a Brett Brown issue, maybe with coaching or something like that. But I don't feel like Ben Simmons is playing the right position, pretty much. I feel like he should be at the 3. I know a lot of people have been saying that a lot lately, but Ben Simmons should maybe be a 3 or maybe should be a 4, and I don't feel like he's playing the way he should be, and his reluctance to shoot is a problem.
Listen, episode 90, we said the same thing. We said he'll be better utilized as a swing man. He's a point guard and a big body who can't really take advantage on the wing because he doesn't shoot, and he hasn't made a basket out of 2.5 feet the whole series.
Won't even shoot it.
Like, what is that, bro?
Attempt.
That's not helpful for what they got going on. So now you can't play Embiid in the post because you need some kind of spacing. So they're jamming up the middle. They're jamming up the middle because this guy can't shoot. You need a point guard.
So do you think Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid can play together as a whole on the same roster?
It's time to move on from Simmons.
I agree.
I say
so you think they should move on from Simmons rather than Embiid?
Yeah, because all right, the dude claimed his rookie campaign was last year, right? He's been in the NBA system for his 3rd year and still can't shoot. So that means he's never going to be able to shoot. His effectiveness outside of the paint might never be there. He has the ability to be a better version of a young Lamar Odom when he first came in with the Clippers, able to handle the rock, but he can't shoot.
It's a problem.
So he's handicapping his team at this. So now, in the spots where Tobias Harris could now cook, and he's perfect in the long ball to mid-range. He's like a baby Melo almost. He's perfect for that, but he can't really work in that space because Simmons is there, and so was Jimmy Butler. He's kind of the same player.
They're very similar. They're too similar.
Yeah, and then you still have your center who can't get to the middle because you're there, because you can't shoot.
I agree. I feel like how I look at this situation is Embiid and Simmons, to me, definitely need to break up. I think you have to choose one or the other, and I wouldn't be mad if they choose either one. To me, if you're going to choose Embiid, I think you could definitely get a quality package in for Ben Simmons, but you got to get a point guard that can shoot, obviously. Somebody to give Embiid space and allow him to work on his back to the basket game, because he does do a lot of face-up jumpers, and he's shooting way too many damn threes, which I saw in this series, but he shouldn't have been doing.
Doesn't shoot them well either.
Yeah, way too many threes. I don't know what he was thinking. That could be Brett Brown as well. That's a problem. But to me, I wouldn't be that opposed to building around Ben Simmons either. But I feel like if you build around Ben Simmons, you have to build your entire roster revolving around Ben Simmons in the same way the Bucks did with Giannis. Like, that exact same blueprint should be the exact way, and to me, the only way a Ben Simmons team can be run, especially if you're going to leave him at the point guard slot, because you can still move him to the 3 and then surround him with shooters. He can be the one non-shooter, control the offense. Same way you had a LeBron-esque kind of Cleveland kind of offense. Offenses like that, I feel like, are the only ones that could work with Ben Simmons. But is he ready for that kind of responsibility? I don't know.
the problem with that is you've went through a process to restart another process.
Yes.
With one of your process players.
That's what has to happen, though.
So, but now you about 10 years into this process.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not far-fetched, but the difference between Giannis and Simmons, Giannis has gotten better every season. And now he's willing to take 3-point. It doesn't go in. Sometimes he leaves a short elp. But
I see him shooting it more now, though.
You're keeping the defense honest. That's the problem with Ben Simmons. He doesn't keep the defense honest. So now I'm just going to pack the paint and don't let you get downhill. If you get downhill, I'm going to jump in front of you. It's a charge. He's not willing. I haven't seen a switch where it's fourth quarter and I seen him engage into a different motor.
Yeah.
But he did this at LSU and nobody said anything.
He can be frustrating to watch, though, Ben Simmons. I get a little frustrated seeing him, watching him sometimes, because what I see him do is he's dribbling up the court, top speed.
Yeah.
He'll throw it over to Tobias or do a dribble handoff, like I keep saying. That's all he's doing. All they're doing, Philadelphia, is dribble handoffs. And then he'll go stand in the corner and just be irrelevant in the play. He'll disappear every possession after possession. And to me, sometimes he gets an offensive rebound here and there. Sometimes he get a little putback here and there. I see some effort. But to me, he's not engaged enough in off-ball movement as well, because he has to overcompensate for him not shooting the ball. And to me, that's a problem. But what do you think about this? I think that it wouldn't be so far-fetched if they look into moving Embiid for Anthony Davis and pair him up with Ben Simmons, and then maybe re-sign it to Tobias, or one out of the two.
See, the only problem with that is Ben Simmons and AD, because AD doesn't want to play the 5. So he's kind of playing the same position.
I think you could pick up a 5. Somebody like Gortat is available. He's been a free agent. You need just a regular 5
but you need a stretch 5 with a setup like that, because AD is your in the paint bucket getter, or he would be in the paint bucket.
But he can also step out.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, so now if you got another big there that only plays in the box, you need like a Brook Lopez type of stretch.
That would be ideal.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be ideal, but there's not a lot of those.
Guy from the Magic, Valanciunas, whatever his name
Vucevic?
Yeah, he steps out, he hits a few every once in a while. You know, you don't need a big name. You just need a solid player that knows his role for AD to kind of work there. But still, and when it matters, you're still going to need a point guard.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely.
I think they need to get rid of the coach.
Oh, we're going to talk about, Brett Brown. So you think it's time for Brett Brown to go?
Yeah.
So basically you feel like this is a failed season for Philadelphia and they underachieved?
I don't think it's failed. I just think
they had championship aspirations.
They did. They put all the chips in the middle, but their coach isn't the person to have been in that position, because with all that talent, you couldn't figure out how to turn a Jimmy Butler into your fourth quarter sniper. He played great, but there should be sets ran for a player like that who isn't scared of the big shots. Tobias Harris this is his best shooting three-point shooting season. You should find a way to find him some motion or something like that. And then JJ been shooting the same tough shots over and over.
JJ was a little frustrating too.
But the problem is you can't sink the defense in because Ben Simmons can't do anything above the free throw line.
Yeah, but they weren't calling the right plays either. They was just dribble handoffs at JJ, if you notice.
It's time.
Curl around a dribble handoff and throw up.
I don't know what black cloud is over the NBA on my man Mark Jackson, but Mark Jackson deserves a team like Philadelphia where he still has young players. He helped develop Steph and Clay and Draymond into the mental frame of mind that they needed to take it to the level they are now. And Brett Brown, he was amazing with accepting losing and being part of the team and all that.
Building a culture.
Yeah, but he's not the guy to get them over the hump. His X and O's in the end of the game isn't what they need.
Yes. I agree there. I actually really like Mark Jackson for Philly. Akeem, he's been calling for Mark Jackson over there. Shout out to him. He's been calling for Mark Jackson over there. I think it would be a nice solid fit over there. I think it is time to move on from Brett Brown. Not that I'm blaming him for losing, but I feel like he could have been a lot better. as a coach.
Definitely.
He definitely could have been a lot better.
Definitely. Mark Jackson or like a Brian Shaw.
What about a Ty Lue?
Nah, I don't think so. Because Ty Lue is more like the era right after he played. Like, like.
Okay, but we got to talk about these Raptors also because we didn't even discuss them. Kawhi Leonard, how he's been dominating this series and how he dominated this series. The Game 7, one of the clutchest shots we've seen in a long time. I'm not gonna lie, that was crazy when I was watching that, man. Were you watching live? Did you jump on it when it went in?
I had to rewatch it. I had daddy duties.
Oh, I feel you. I feel you on that. But yo, man, I was watching that shit live, and I was like, yo, I couldn't believe it when it hit when it first bounced. I said, nah, and then I said, wait, that's going in. And the photo that came out where Kawhi and everybody standing there
squatted down.
Yeah, that was a dope photo.
It looked like a club picture. It looked crazy.
It did. But that was a dope ass photo, man. And it was a special moment. I'm not gonna lie to watch. I was actually very happy for the Raptors for doing that, man. But yo, look at the numbers that Kawhi put up in these 7 games. First game 1, he had 41-9. Then he had 29, 12 and 5. Then 21, 13 and 4. 39, 14 and 5, 33, 4 and 3, 35, 7 and 6, and then 45 and 11. Kawhi Leonard was...
He gutted that last game out, too.
Took 40 shots, and he was surgical in this series. They thought Ben Simmons would be the Kawhi stopper.
Nope.
It was not happening right there. So, do you think Kawhi Leonard just reminded everybody what he is?
Yeah, you know what? People say when they leave the Pop system, they're never the same player.
Oh, people were questioning Kawhi if he was a system player.
Was he a system player? Is he really that good? And he put his foot on necks this series, and I really enjoyed what I seen.
Me too.
I wasn't the big Kawhi Leonard fan coming into it, but the way he took his shots in his sweet spots.
In rhythm.
What he wanted to do is where he took his shots at. And, that's beautiful basketball in my eye.
It was sexy basketball.
Yeah,
it really was. Because if you notice how he was getting to his spots, those fadeaway jumpers, I know a lot of people are saying Kobe-esque and Jordan-esque, these fadeaways. And I love the mechanics that I was seeing from Kawhi Leonard.
Especially he's a flat shooter. So for him to get in his spots, he made up his mind each time he shot.
Yes.
That he wasn't going to worry about the defense. He worked on his shots on the offseason, and it played right into it.
You could tell he worked because you see the fundamentals of the impact, the crisp rotations, the elbow room. He's the angles, the feet work.
Yeah, I really liked what I seen out of him.
Phenomenal. I was so impressed with Kawhi Leonard, and shout out to him, man. He's been balling out. I would like him to stay in Toronto this offseason. I'm not gonna lie. I think this shot though, helped Toronto out a lot
because it's a country.
Yes, and to me, it's a moment that you can remember. Like when they're doing the pitch, they could be like, Kawhi, do you remember that moment that you had with us? And then you think back, and it's like, damn.
Because betting on yourself to leave to somewhere else, a hope.
Yes.
You get to that same level.
Exactly. It's when you already tasted it a little bit. It's like, damn, Kawhi, that was a moment. Listen, we're going to upgrade for you. And there's going to be more moments like that because we know you could do it. Yeah. We already did it. And it's fresh in his mind. Even if they go out in this conference finals to the Bucks, it'll be a hard-fought series, and I don't feel like that would weigh into the decision because to me, it's about those moments and how comfortable he felt. And they allowed him to rehab the whole season.
That was a hell of a shot.
It was a hell of a shot.
They brought Danny Green over there to make him feel a little bit more comfortable. Mm-hmm. They brought another trainer that he was familiar with.
Yes.
They did a lot to accommodate him.
A lot.
You know what I'm saying? They weren't playing him back-to-back games just to get it nice and ready for this moment. And
just to ease in.
And for the fact that he showed up at the biggest moment, it's just like... It's satisfying as a GM, as a coach, straight up and down the line.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's a one-year deal, I think the Kawhi Leonard trade was worth the gamble 100%.
Yeah.
I would do it 10 times, 11 times out of 10.
Shout out to Drake.
For real, man. It's going to be interesting in the offseason when I talk about the Raptors too also. And Bucks-Celtics, man. The Celtics won game 1. You had Paul Paul Pierce talking shit after game one, saying the Bucks will never win a game again.
Yeah.
And then the Bucks went on to win 4 in a row after that. Kyrie Irving underachieved in this playoffs, right? I did not like what I saw from Kyrie Irving. I didn't like what I saw from him as a leader. I didn't like what I saw from him as far as his shot selection. I didn't like his body language. I felt like he had like a me against the world kind of mentality, and he was just jacking to me in this series.
Yeah, his choice of words post game.
Words.
It's been all season with him, and he was playing like he was 1 foot out the door.
Yes.
You know
Oh yeah.
he shot 25 for 83. That's almost 31%, 30%, something like that. But like, dog, let's say for instance, we can compare Kyrie to Lillard earlier. Lillard didn't have it going in the last game of their game 7, but he still finished out with 10 rebounds, 8 assists. He found key plays at the right moment.
Yeah.
Kyrie was I just felt as though he was trying to shoot them back in the game when it was
selfish.
It was there. A lot of the games, it was right there. And he had a hot hand in the Morris twin. He was playing a tough brand of basketball.
I like the Morris twin, man.
I don't know what he's seen or what he was attempting, and it was kind of a stain on his resume for this upcoming offseason.
I agree, because I still haven't seen what Kyrie is doing without LeBron.
Yeah.
What has he done? He hasn't showed me nothing. He hasn't shown me that he's a leader.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown me. He showed me he can score, but that's something I already knew. Who didn't know Kyrie could score?
Yeah.
Who didn't know Kyrie could give you 25? He's always going to give you 25 no matter what. He gets you 25 in his sleep. You can't stop him from scoring.
He got 25 when he was playing for Cleveland without LeBron, and he was a lottery pick.
Exactly. Just because you score don't mean you're a winner. You know what I'm saying? I need to see how you are and how you evolve and how you mature as a player. That's what I need to see from him, because he's bumping into veteran status now. He's still young. He's 27 or something like that, but he's technically veteran status now. He's a champion.
Knees is 40 years old.
They are. But to me, I just didn't like what I saw from Kyrie as a whole. And
body language.
He
walked off the court before the game was finished.
Come on, man. I didn't like that. And
I take back my statement. I might put Lillard up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
think about it. I got Lillard ahead of Kyrie right now. Even though I did slander Dame, I know people gonna say that last season, but to me, it's because I expected more from him. I didn't expect him to get swept by Drew Holiday, but Kyrie, I didn't expect him to win the series. I didn't have faith in Kyrie that they can overcome the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis in this series, even though they had a great game 1. I still felt like the Bucks was gonna win. I was like, with a better team.
On paper alone, I remember I actually picked Boston to make it to the finals.
Oh, you did? I had the Bucks. I got the Bucks in the finals.
On episode 90. But it's like,
oh yeah, you did.
I did.
Yes.
I thought they would get it together, and they didn't build off of any momentum that they had going into the postseason from the season. Gordon Hayward was playing much better. They didn't find any real slots for him. And Tatum, if Kyrie isn't cooking, why in the hell? They said that their coach is supposed to be one of the best minds in the game,
Brad Stevens.
Why is it that you can't find some ISO shots for a player like Tatum, which is a young, great ISO player? He couldn't find any shots for him.
He only gave you 12 points in this series. 12 points tonight.
It wasn't like he was defensively clamped down by anybody. I just felt as though like they didn't put him in a best position for a Kyrie Robin to his Batman. If you wanted to say it, if Kyrie wanted to be the Batman, he shot him out.
I just feel like he was just taking random shots, if that makes sense. Like for Tatum. Yeah, Tatum.
Yeah.
I feel like he was taking just random shots.
Like it was my turn to get a couple
of. Like let me get a couple of shots. So let me see if I can make a few right here. But they weren't like rhythm shots, like where he felt. I didn't feel like he was confident in this series like that. Like, to me, he was just playing like, I'm going to get some shots up. I know I can score, so I should be able to score right now, but why am I not scoring? I don't feel like he found out why he wasn't scoring and tried to attack something or see what he was doing wrong and make an adjustment to me.
But that's like going back to the whole Harden thing. You got to empower your teammates.
True.
And if the hand is hot, you got to find a hot hand. I did like that they try to play Kyrie off the ball with the Rozier, but I felt as though when Kyrie got the ball, he felt he had to shoot.
Yes. I saw a lot of that.
And that killed them.
Yeah, I saw a lot of. He felt like he had to be the one to score.
Yeah,
they were tough shots he was taking too.
Over people like Giannis. Kyrie's maybe 6'2". Mm-hmm. Like, come on, dog.
George Hill was playing him full court. I mean, he was trying, and listen, they had a good game plan, but Kyrie was forcing a lot of those shots.
Yeah,
forcing a lot.
I agree.
He definitely was. And Giannis came through, man. I mean, game one, he didn't look too good, but then he really adjusted. I like that Giannis did adjust to how he was playing. He did play a little bit smarter after that. He still ended up with 28, 11, and 5, but he was slightly exposed to a degree about how he struggles in the half court and how they stopped his transition runs, especially in game one when they won. I did see Giannis struggle to adjust in the beginning. So to me, that was a problem, and that'll be interesting to see if Toronto deploys that same strategy that Boston was doing to Giannis.
Yeah. The bad thing about the Bucks facing the Raptors, they have a lot of big bodies.
Yes,
they have a lot of interchangeable pieces, and you still got like a strong dude like Ibaka who could play perimeter ball with a Giannis. And then, we're not even talking about Kawhi taking a shot at Giannis yet. So it's like, I mean,
so we might as well talk about this series now, the conference finals. So we got the Bucks and Raptors, Blazers and Warriors. Bucks and Raptors. To me, this is my favorite matchup out of the two, the Bucks and Raptors. Yeah. I think this is going to be a dynamite series because I think it's very important for Kawhi and Giannis really to be guarding each other this series. And I think it's going to be a real chess match in between those two. Because like you said, if Kawhi takes on a challenge, then I'm going to shut down Giannis personally one-on-one. It's possible.
Yo, I'm so hyped for this series to start. I'm hyped. Listen, you have two headstrong players who are athletic, who have extremely large hands for whatever reason it might take.
Claws.
And they love the moment of defending the best player on the other team.
That's why I love them.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen players of my era time frame try to rest on the offensive end. But these two guys they play on both ends of the and they don't seem to get tired.
They don't.
I never seen Giannis really.
Giannis never looks tired.
He never want to sit down. Kawhi, he doesn't say anything. He's just focused. He's almost like a murderer.
He is. He's a robot.
And he did say he wants to be the best player on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
So now you have to argue the best player in the East was given to Giannis because they have him in the MVP category. That's a challenge that he won't run from 7 out of 7 days a week.
Yeah, and I feel like this series is gonna go 7, to be honest.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Please don't end the summer too early, please.
I know, right? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this is a nice series that has the makings and the potential to go 7. And I think it really could go either way, man. I'm really excited to see both of them defend each other. Like you said, I think it's really gonna be this is gonna be a matchup of adjustments, I think also. Because I think it's going to be a chess match, and I feel like each team has to change their style depending on each game. Because I feel like no team has a definitive second option that they can rely on, that they know they're going to get at least 20 points from in the series, other than Giannis or other than Kawhi on each team. Some days it could be Middleton, some days it could be Brogdon, maybe Siakam, maybe Lowry, maybe Danny Green. You never know.
Talk about it.
Definitely not Lowry.
Cannot count on that dude.
You definitely can't count on Lowry.
I don't even know what numbers he's giving up this postseason, but he's just relevant.
Yeah, you definitely can't. So
I'm very disappointed at Van Fleet. Van
Vliet.
Like, what's going on?
What did you expect out of him?
He gave you solid point guard play last year.
He did.
Last year's playoffs. So it's like 0 for 5. It's like, come on, dog.
How come Jeremy Lin is getting no minutes?
Jeremy who? Come on, dog. Come on, dog. You don't know what you're gonna expect from him from game to game. It's not the time for insanity. Crazy.
Oh man, that's gonna be interesting. So who you got in that series? I got the Bucks in 7.
To be honest, I really don't want to be on the hot seat with this one.
Now, what you got, bruh?
But
You can't go wrong with this one, actually. It's a very even matchup.
at all. Oh, shit.
I'm going with the Bucks in 7, man. I'm rooting for Giannis. I love both of them, but I'm rooting for Giannis.
I'm gonna go Raptors.
You go Raptors?
I'm gonna go Raptors.
Okay.
I think Kawhi's experience alone and him winning the championship and being that guy might edge it out just a tad bit.
Oh, okay.
Just a tad bit.
Who do you think is gonna perform better in this series, Kawhi or Giannis?
I think that'll be a wash. I think it'll go really down to a supporting player. And I know I chose the Raptors, but I expect Brook Lopez to do something.
I expect Brogdon to come alive and get some production.
I don't know about him.
I don't know if you don't know if he's ready yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know because shin splits it hurts. Like
it does.
He might have played one game and
it does.
been crying the same night.
True that.
So I don't want to put too much on him. But what really has to work for you to get your pick to come out, Bledsoe has to bust Chubb's ass.
Yeah, he does. He's got to give him 15 to 20.
He has to kill him.
He does. He definitely does. Blazers Warriors. What you got in that series?
Are we choosing without KD coming back?
Well, they officially said KD's going to be out for game 1,
yeah.
and it's said most likely game 2, depending on how the series goes. So let's act like he's out for games 1 and game 2, comes back game 3.
Low key, I think he kind of like ruptured. If not tore, kind of his Achilles was affected.
Oh, so you think they're not disclosing?
I think they're not disclosing at the time to keep them mentally strong. If you don't get, we haven't seen.
I was thinking that at the end of Game 5 when they announced, I was like, I don't think they're giving all the details.
Yeah, because the way he looked at his foot, just is like he knew, like, damn.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, but let's say KD does come back, but he comes back in like a game 4-ish. They might be up 2-1 at that point. So. Damn. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Blazers.
What?
I'm gonna go with the Blazers.
What?
Blazers is 6.
Wow. But I love it.
Let's go, man.
I'm not mad at that. Listen, I would love, nothing would excite me more than the Blazers. Nothing would excite me more than the Blazers winning this series, but I actually think they're going to make quick work of the Blazers, man. I think it's going to be over in 5. Not going to lie. I think Blazers are going to get 1. I think McCollum and CJ is going to... McCollum and Dame is going to have a hot game because if you remember when they played the Warriors, I believe it's in the first round or second round a few years back, they were giving them buckets. They couldn't contain Dame and CJ, and they were giving 30 apiece, especially on Steph Curry and Klay. So those boys are not afraid to go over there in Oracle and get a game. And I believe they beat them once this year, or they're like 8-1 in the last 9 games or something like that.
They won twice this year, I think.
Oh, they won twice this year?
I think so.
So, but...
It's a new season.
It's a new season. But I just think the Warriors are just too much. You know what I think the problem is? I think people are forgetting that the Rockets made the Golden State Warriors look mortal. You know what I'm saying? I feel like because we were their toughest challenger, because the Rockets play them that way, we actually bring to light their deficiencies or their vulnerabilities as a team, because I feel like we have them playing in a way that we get them emotional as well. The same way the Rockets play emotional, the Warriors play emotional against us, and in turn that causes them to get off of their game. So I don't feel like they have that emotional connection to this series in the Blazers to make them come off of the game. So I feel like they're gonna dictate the pace, play their game plan, do what they need to do, and I just think it's going to be too much for the Blazers to overcome because of that other aspect that you need in a playoff series.
All right. There's a few key factors that might help out my argument. One, if KD doesn't return, that's one less person they have available to play. Their bench isn't really strong.
Oh, it's horrible.
So that's one key. And he's a really good defender at the rim. With a player like Cantor, who is a problem down low, Draymond is really a smaller guy.
Yeah.
Cantor is, for some reason, I feel like he got magnets connected to his hands or something.
I know the way he grabs the boards,
The
right?
offensive board always finds him.
Always.
Right? Then hustle for hustle, you have a Draymond Green, you have a Mo Harkless. So that might balance out. Steph has to guard somebody. You can't hide him for but so long.
Well, they're gonna hide him on Mo Harkless or El Farouk Aminu.
But he's bigger than him.
They're bigger, yeah.
And they give the ball to the post.
They do.
You see what Rodney Hood did to Murray. Like, you put him on me?
I agree. But I that's the key though. Rodney Hood might not be available.
Yeah, if he's not available, we'll see about that part. But you still have a Seth Curry, who this year he led the league in 3-point percentage. So you still could find shots for him. Would you rather him or a Bell? Not Bell. Cook. Quinn Cook? Yeah.
I'd rather him over Quinn Cook.
And then you don't know what you're gonna get from Sean Livingston. The only dice roll is kind of Iguodala.
Yeah.
Is the clock gonna keep turning back for him?
Like I said, it was in our series. I feel like it was adrenaline, where Iguodala was souped up for the series.
He was on Adderall.
I was like, "What Iguodala is this?" I've never seen him play like that in 2 years.
Real bouncy. His back wasn't hurting. None of that.
He was feeling good. You noticed that?
Yeah,
right?
he went somewhere in the mountains and drank some wine or something. But
I told you that series, it was a extra mental aspect in this series. Like everybody was juiced up for that series.
Listen,
not a game. Not a game.
Dame
Not a
doesn't
game.
like players that get emotional
practice.
and do the showboating. So you know Steph Curry does the little shimmy.
Yes.
He might not like that.
That's true.
And he might take that personal. And what we seen happen when he took that personal last with series before.
I would love for that to happen.
And this is the stage for him. So, I'm going to go on a hunch.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. Listen, I hope you're right. Nothing would make me happier.
Listen. It could be possible.
It is. So family, man, it's time for crossover segment. Family, I'll be throwing out play comparisons from different eras. My man Reem asks his GM, and he tells me who he would take out of the two in their prime if he was building the team. First up, dug into the bag on this one. Two interesting guys. Are you taking CJ McCollum right now, or a prime? See if you remember this dude. Jason Richardson, Jay Rich, from Golden State Warriors around that time. Let me give you the career stat. They're ridiculously close. CJ McCollum, 17 tonight, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 45% from the floor, 1-time most improved. Jay Rich, dunk champ for a few years. Also could hit the three, giving buckets, 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 43% from the floor. Reem, you taking McCollum, or you taking Jay Rich, building the squad at that 2-guard spot?
At their prime?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Remember them springs?
I might go CJ on this one.
Okay. Tell me why.
Go CJ. I just like he's like a Swiss Army knife. Mid-range. He could get it, make his buckets off the dribble, 3-point shooting, free throw. And the key that kind of differs him, you could change him at the 1 or the 2. He can really handle the pill. And, he probably one of the best 1-2 dribbles to a shot players in the game right now.
Oh, his pull-up dribble is phenomenal.
It's amazing. So I like Jay Rich has always been a dope player. But CJ, man, I think the light is shining on him, and it's his time.
See, but I don't want you to get any recency bias or anything like that because of.
I always like CJ.
Oh, okay.
I always liked that.
Okay.
I always thought he was a great player that wasn't an all-star.
Okay, I hear you. Listen, I agree. I'm going CJ as well, and I think you hit it right on the head when you said about versatility.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why I would go with CJ McCollum, because he's interchangeable between the 1 and the 2. It is a positive, but it can also be a negative as well if he's playing with another small guard, like how he's playing with Dame right now. Sometimes it shows when they go against bigger guards, because CJ is like 6'3" or 6'4", something like that.
6'3".
Yeah, he's a small 2 guard. So it's an advantage and a disadvantage at times. But McCollum, man, that pull up, that mid-range, that handle, that jumper, that fadeaway, that pull-up 3.
It's amazing.
Gotta give CJ some love. And I'm very happy for him that he's finally getting the spotlight on him and Dame right now. It's just, It's their time. They fell into the right bracket to help out their ascension right now into being a household name.
Facts.
So definitely, because if they were in a different bracket, it might not have been the same right now.
Might have been as pretty.
Exactly. So so moving on. Are you taking Draymond Green right now or a prime Zach Randolph, Zebo in their prime? Two different power forwards right here. Draymond, 9 points per game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 43% from the floor, 3-time champ, 3-time All-Star, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year. Zebo, 16 a game, 9.5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 steal, 47% from the floor, 2-time All-Star, 1-time Most Improved. Building squad, going with the scoring Zach Randolph, the big body, or you going with the versatile Swiss Army knife Draymond Green? Who you got?
It's crazy. I didn't even need to hear all the numbers. I'm going with Zebo.
Oh, okay. Tell me why.
Zebo, at one point in his prime, he was a walk-in 2010 and 5. And he was probably one of the first kind of 15, 17 foot, like 4-5s. He couldn't jump. He couldn't jump over a milk carton.
At all.
But he found his way. And I don't like, Draymond is a really good player for that system. But
great player for the system.
If you take him out of Golden State, I don't even think he might be like a Stanley Johnson.
Oh,
I don't know where to really play him. Can't really shoot. He handles the rock, but it's not really a control dribble.
It's wild sometimes.
But he uses it as athleticism. But if you need a player who's gonna be consistent every night, it's definitely Zebo.
Dog. 2 for 2.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
I'm actually very shocked. I really thought you was gonna pick Draymond Green there. I'm not gonna lie.
I never really liked Draymond.
Wow, I'm actually very shocked because I know majority of people is gonna pick Draymond Green. I bet you, just off of namesake, I guess, and maybe recency bias. But Zebo, 2010 Zebo, people are forgetting how he was 5. People forgetting how he controlled the offense in Portland, how he controlled the offense in New York. You control the offense. Where else do you control the offense?
Memphis,
where you control the offense.
That's when he was a dog.
Those are 3 different teams that the offense was evolved around his game, and there was nothing fancy about it, nothing sexy about it. You notice how he was an inside player, then started stepping back and hitting those mid-range, and they weren't like lousy mid. They were rainbow through the net mid-ranges, post-ups, face-ups he was hitting easily. And it was just it was the calmest 20 and 10 he was getting. And then it's also that presence that Zebo was giving down low.
He was really tough. He was a tough dude.
He never could get off the floor, but still grabbing 10 rebounds. How? It's by positioning.
Body.
So to me, I feel like I'm giving the nod to Zach Randolph because even though maybe right now in this day and age, he might not fit in this kind of offense right now with the way the pace and space, but I feel like he could play a small ball 5.
Yeah, why not? I could see him being effective somewhere. You know, the pace of the NBA has really like kind of like took him out the league.
Yeah.
But like if you like the playoffs is the time to have a player like him.
Oh man, I still think he would be really good in the playoffs.
He's a smart player.
Yeah.
You have to be a smart player if you're not athletic to really put up numbers like that.
Oh yeah,
because he left the league. You said 16
and 9.
He averaged 16 and 9 for a career.
That's a career. And he was averaging 20-10 for about like 9 years.
And that's crazy.
It's crazy. I definitely I love your basketball knowledge, bro.
2 for 2. Bro.
I really thought you was going Draymond in there. I like that. So yeah, man, we buckling up for a hell of a conference finals. Definitely excited for that Raptors Bucks series. I think it's gonna be dynamite. I'm tight. My boys are not in there right now. We're supposed to be in the West Finals right now, Rockets and Blazers, but shit ain't happening, man. Not happening at all. But I think actually. So you think both of these conference finals are gonna go to distance, or being exciting, I should say, competitive?
I think we're gonna have a great series.
Okay,
both ways. But I see 6 in the West and 7 out east.
Okay, that's competitive.
Yeah, I
That's
like
competitive.
what I see.
I'm not mad at that. I ain't mad at that. Reem, my brother, thank you for joining me as always, dog. As always.
Been a pleasure, my brother. I love sitting down with y'all.
Of course, man. Child, we got to get Damo in here because
Damo, you owe me, man. You owe me. I was gonna wait till I see you, but you lost the bet, dog. Make sure you get on that voicemail and hold up your end. No ass betting. Melo Reem on the horn.
Melo Reem on the horn. At Westbrook debate, it's gotta happen. It's definitely gonna happen on episode 100 when we do that.
Please do.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one, man. And family, man, that's episode 94 Above the Rim, and we out.